I respect what you do, my brother, and I honor what you're doing. And this is a bit of financial deliciousness. So this is for you on your journey, my brother.
Oh, thank you so much, brother. Appreciate that.
Yeah, you know, for me and my whānau, money has always been a struggle to try and stay in alignment with our core values.
Yeah, man.
It's important. It's an act of protest against conditioned mindsets, sexuality and confidence in sexuality and things like that. Healing my sexual stuff became a important path that I needed to go on. In my understanding, Tantra embraces everything that is dark and everything that is light. So all things that are profane and also all things that are love. And this is the beauty of stepping into relating with multiple people, is that you kind of move away from this fixated idea that I'm with you for real. Self-discovery, same old message. It's not changing. As much as you want to look the other way or something, you know, it's always just about going to yourself.
Planting seeds. No mai, hoki mai. And this might be a bit of a flashback for some of the people who have been listening to the podcast for some time, because this isn't the first time that you're going to be hearing from this man, but in the same sentence, you are. Because this is a different man that is sitting across from me. So
Absolutely.
We're speaking to a new version of the same self. And so, brother, Harmonious Ra, no mai hoki mai. My brother.
Ngā mihi.
We're into it. So great to see you, my bro, and I know that we don't need to waste no time in terms of where we go and how we flow. And we've already been in some really amazing chats and belly laughs and, challenge even, of reflecting. And so I would love to sort of bring some of those conversations as they rise up within us.
Right.
But first and foremost, my brother, let's ask with the version of how are you?
I am incredibly in flow at the moment. Yeah, my brother. And I would love to actually open the space with a koha.
Beautiful, brother.
With a koha for you.
True.
Yeah. Are you open to receive?
I'm open to receive, my brother. I'm open to receive.
So I respect what you do, my brother, and I honor what you're doing. And this is a bit of financial deliciousness because we're on the path of abundance, of pulling in there. And I thought about it too. I was like, should I put it in the envelope? And I was like, nah. Why do we need to hide it?
Yeah.
Hey, my brother. Yeah. So this is for you on your journey, my brother.
Oh, thank you so much, brother. Yeah. Appreciate that, man. And the reason I'm in the space of receiving this, bro, is one, there is a need for it.
All right.
Being in the season that I'm in at the moment, and being quite open about and transparent about that and what that means for me and my whānau. And so being able to do this mahi, traveling with this trailer, all of the editing, there's a lot that goes into it without much reciprocation financially. And so I'm receiving on behalf of not only myself, but for my whānau, but also for the people who tune into this. So thank you very much, brother. And that's been a big, huge lesson for me, is being open to receiving. And it's not just this that I'm receiving, brother. What I'm receiving is your aroha. What I'm receiving is you care. What I'm receiving is you believing in me and what I'm doing. So thank you very much for this, my bro. Really do appreciate that. And that's abundance. And not only giving, because that's a big part of it, whereas the opposite of that is the whole, this is mine and I only have enough here, as opposed to, I don't have enough. Whereas abundance suggests that we'll always have enough, and there's always that sense of being open to receive. So I just want to thank you for this, brother, so much. And for you, how does it feel?
Brings me joy, my brother. And it brings me happiness, knowing that I'm investing in your path because I believe in this kaupapa, and I believe that, this is a positive thing that's happening in our country. And, hey, might be starting a trend. Maybe the next person who wants to jump in the podcast. No pressure, but, yeah, my brother, stoked as. And, I want to see this. I want to continue to see this thriving, and I want to see it evolve too.
Bro.
I loved the live session last night.
Yeah,
it was cool too, eh, brother?
The bro wanted to say something and interject. Well, not interject in a way that was like, disruptive, but just the wanting to share or contribute
to the kōrero.
Yeah.
And just finding what that looks like for future ones as well, I suppose.
So in their fine-tuning stage, brother.
Yeah, my brother.
As we're sort of, in the space of sharing and talking about finances, you've been on their journey, within these last few months, and probably even longer. But what you were sharing online when you got back from Bali was literally starting from scratch, and being able to now, not long after, being able to now support someone who, in a monetary sense, bro. And so, talk a little bit about that, bro. The climb, the come up, the starting from scratch, and then, building yourself back into a more comfortable position.
Yeah, for me and my whānau, money has always been a struggle, and I probably, a lot of the whānau out there you might be able to relate to. But, because I've just been on a hardcore journey of self-discovery, my brother. And, when you're on the self-discovery path, you become super introspective, and you sort of like filter through yourself with a fine-tooth comb with what level of awareness that you can at the time. Because as you progress throughout your journey of self-discovery, you begin to increase your level of self-awareness, blah, blah, blah. You can see different aspects of yourself. But the pūtea thing has always been something that I never respected, something that came and went as easy as the wind. There was no real education around that space. And when I got back, now that I was in a beautiful, loving relationship with my beautiful, with my beautiful darling, I had to crack down. Well, I felt like I had to crack down. And get stuck into some mahi. And in hindsight, I operate best when I'm in flow with the universe, or you could call it God, or whatever your description for the essence of creation is. I find that I'm healthier. I'm in more conscious flow when I'm in union with that kind of space, and allowing the tohu to arrive, and then sort of weave in with tohu, but then also manage that action, that action taking space, like we're talking about, step and surrender. Sort of, that's a balance, man. But yeah, if you crack it, you crack it. Anyway, I just got my head down, brother. I came up into my mind, and then I just started looking at the things that I needed and putting things into place so that we could create a safe space for us, me and my darling. Yeah. We needed a vehicle, we needed a whare. So I got a job, and that was new for me after being on this big hikoi of self-discovery to then weave back into the system. Yeah. So that was a big experience as well.
And was that doing youth work?
Yeah.
Or was that?
Yeah. Youth work for Charitable Trust in Gizzy. Yeah. Working with rangatahi. And then just gradually started to educate myself on money. And, we were doing lots of those YouTube videos. Yep. Robert. Yep. Oh, Mr. Kiyosaki. Yeah. Watching some of his stuff, reading the audio book on that Rich Dad Poor Dad stuff, and Myron Gold. Oh, haven't heard of that fella? Nah. He's another bit of a guru. He's got some real cool kōrero as well. But yeah, just educating ourselves, and then also with lots of support from my whānau, lots of aroha and support from my father. Thank you, Dad. Thank you, aroha. Love you. They housed us, and they gave us vehicles to drive around on when we first got here. Yeah. And then just gradually built it up, my brother. Got a truck from my brother, paying him off, and then sold the truck. Pūtea from that, invested in the van. Yeah. We were generating pūtea through creating dive programs as well. Whānau toa, all the whānau there. just doing what we could to try and stay in alignment with our core values.
Yeah, man.
And to continue to practice expressing our creative energy, transmuting our creative energy into an offering or a service that we can be nourished financially, but also be uplifted through the mahi.
Through the mahi, yeah. That's where I reckon that's a cool version of success that I actually subscribe to, is doing mahi that you feel is your calling, or there's an innate knowing that you love to do that, whether it's in service or whether it's in any kind of lane that aligns with your true expression. Yep. And if you can get compensated in a way that allows you support, financial support, or can support your livelihood that you like to live, that's what I reckon success is.
Yeah.
Is a great version, rather than the more sparkling lights that we see on social media around what success actually is. And that is a vision, but we can create that by what you're saying, being on that journey of self-discovery.
Yeah.
Because it comes from a more fluid space of flow. And that's why I love doing this mahi, and there's a big purpose in me for doing stuff like this. And sometimes there's monetary reciprocation, sometimes there isn't. But irregardless, the mahi is still being done because of that. And things start to flow in from different spaces, such as beautiful koha like this, brother.
We're talking about the fruit of the tree, eh?
Yeah.
As the putia.
Yeah.
Sort of the thing you don't focus on. You focus on nurturing your rako, your tree, to a point where it bears
the fruit.
The canopy is big so that it can bear more fruit.
Yeah.
And then the fruit is in the form of the putia.
That's such an amazing analogy and visual, because we are so fixated on the fruit. And that's like you plant a seed, you don't get fruit from that tree until the next season.
Roger.
But then we've got to nurture it with the right things, water, the right elements, the right season. And sometimes we don't have good seasons, and sometimes we don't nurture it long enough. So, of course, it's not going to be the fruits. And that's the outcome of the input.
Yep.
And just not having that space of what you're talking about. The action is the planting.
Yeah.
But then we don't have that surrender and trusting in.
You got to let it grow too.
Yeah, and the patience, having the patience for everything else to do its magic.
Yep.
Yeah.
Because you don't see the fruit when it's growing.
No.
You just see a bare tree.
But the fruit's in there, right?
You have to trust that it's going to come. If it's your first time growing a tree, you don't, you haven't had the experience of even eating the fruit from it yet.
Yeah, exactly.
So, and you could be a terrible gardener. You haven't learned your skills to garden, to nurture a tree.
Yeah.
And that's where self-discovery, I think, plays a big part.
Yeah.
It's like, doing that mahi on yourself to become a sharp gardener.
Which is sustainable.
Aye.
Once you develop those tools of being able to nurture a seed, or, you practice the patience, you become really good at growing whatever it is that you're pouring energy into. Which is a great analogy for this whole space of generating income and following through on a particular passion. And so, there's been instances within my space, and it's only coming from a select few, and it's not in a space of where it's coming from. What I'm interpreting it as just worried about me, and so that's coming out in a way of, if you were to get a job, that'll create a bit more comfortability, and then you can do this the passion that you're doing over here. And so, and it's nothing against people who do work, and that's what it was my sister, and that's where she sort of felt, I was like, what's wrong with a job? I was like, there's nothing wrong with a job, but as I thought about it a little bit more, what it really came down to is I want to be able to be in a space where I can do what I love every day, and for there to be reciprocated in a way to support me and my whānau. And it has been for a period of time.
Yep.
This is just a season where, the crop is just taking its time to season, to bear its fruits. Yeah, to ripen, so that's just the period I'm in of the lag, of the buffer, of the, you need to practice more patience, you need to develop more skills. Maybe there was just a different way of the timing of how I'm doing things. And so I'm grateful for that. and there's something within going through the challenges that awaken, something within you around the how, the how you're doing things and like where you are within your state of mind. And so that's the space that I go into when my back is up against the wall in the conditioned aspect.
Yeah.
And that's my opportunity to go within.
Yeah.
And where is this coming from? And what's the limiting belief associated to this? And can I do some mahi there?
And I think as well, brother, that like through you taking a stand with that, you break through old conditioning and patterns for lots of other people.
Oh, true.
As well. Because like if we don't have brothers and sisters who are following their passion, who are saying, no, I don't want to work in the field weeding squash every season, and who pursue their visions and their dreams, then there's going to be, then we're just falling again and generation again and again into conditioning. And we're just going over cycle over cycle over cycle over cycle. And so it's brothers like yourself and myself who are rewriting that, my bro. It's important.
Yeah.
It's an act of protest against conditioned
minds and ways of being.
Yeah, ways of being.
Because I really, and I suppose there's also this other opportunity that comes with it. And I've shared this on the podcast before, but you look at a relationship and you can also look at this journey of creating your own path, whether it's in a mahi context or entrepreneurship. They have parallels, and the reason being is because they are mirrors of where you need to work on yourself. So by just pursuing a relationship or pursuing business or forging your own path, you have to be on that journey of self-discovery with it. Like what I've experienced in both lanes is that you become the limitation for expansion within those areas, and so you could be upset with your partner, but that's reflecting something within you that you might need to resolve. Or you might not be getting any putea here in your journey of entrepreneurship. Well, that's reflecting something in you that you need to be able to work through. And so ultimately, we're our own cap, our own limitation, but we're also ourselves to be able to break through and to be those things. So, it's just mean that we've started, our conversation here in this light. And still grateful. I'm going to hold this our whole conversation, brother.
You're wicked, my
but let's talk about that beautiful, intoxicating container of love with your beloved Simone, brother. You're on a journey over in Bali, and it was great just to see the little highlights. But then there was a major shift when you were interconnected with this wahine. And so, talk about that journey and that union, brother.
Oh, yeah, me and my beautiful darling. We connected through a Tantra massage training retreat. And so for myself, because to speak into the relationship, maybe I have to put a little bit of a background into it. Sexuality and confidence in sexuality and things like that, healing my sexual stuff became a important path that I needed to go on after the journey of creating space. It was a limitation that was holding me back, carrying sexual shame through my childhood, insecurities, and things like that. So after creating space, Big 12, I went and just dropped back into my own self and started tuning back to my relationship with the universe. And it led me overseas, firstly to Ahitereiria, where I spent a little bit of time down in Phillip Island, diving around with the great whites. And then I ended up going over to Bali. And then I went through all these big evolution or expansion experiences over there, connecting in with the local street hustlers.
Yep.
They taught me a lot, my bro, about myself too. And then it got to a point where I was in Kuta.
Yeah.
You know Kuta?
Right in the
heart of boozing and all the party lifestyle.
Yeah.
Took me a while to finally, because I knew when I went to Ubud, then my journey was gonna I was gonna have to get back on the journey. So I got the tohu to go to Ubud, and then as soon as I got there, just such a beautiful environment, such beautiful people, and such a beautiful safe space.
In context for people who haven't been to Bali, Kuta's like the party, hustle bustle, and then Ubud is the more chill, spiritual practices. Like there's a different like ease and calm.
Workshops every day.
Yeah. So that's the difference between the two spaces that the bro was talking about.
Yeah. And so as soon as I landed there, I was in it, and then I started tuning in, and long story short, I was in a little cafe wearing a t-shirt that said Mauri Kai. I got a t-shirt made Mauri Kai. And then this wahine come up to me and she said, "Oh, that's Māori. You from New Zealand?" I said, yeah. Kia ora, sis. And then we got chatting, and it turned out that she was a yoga teacher.
Right.
And she was running retreats. It's a little bit going the long way to the essence of your question, my brother. But
take us there, brother.
Okay, then. Sweet is. And then so ended up doing a she said, "Oh, come do this yoga training for a koha." So then I was like, "Wow, that's a beautiful tohu." Went and did the yoga teacher training, because yoga has been a big influence for my journey, or a pathway that I always wanted to explore. And went on this beautiful lush retreat center, jungle vibes. You know what it's like every day.
Yeah.
It's beautiful. And shala with Ganesha statues and things like that, and going through all the asana, all the physical practices. And when I was there through this yoga training, I realized when they were teaching me stuff, I was like, man, I've already been living this, innately. Through self-discovery, I had already been living a lot of their practices. Brahmacharya is seed retention,
right?
And that's one pathway that they lead, that leads them to enlightenment. And then they got all these other sort of arms that come off it. And so
you were already doing
those
my
things. Bro. Yeah. I was almost like one of the more advanced students there. Mm. And then and so that was a bit of a breakdown for me of my perception of what yoga was. With the physical asana. Mm. And anyway, after that, I was in alignment. Like I was sharp, yoga twice a day. And then I was open to and then I started seeing tohu about this Tantra. And then I was like, what is Tantra? And then I would watch some Instagram videos, and they're all in really intimate, close spaces with wahine, and I was crossing paths with people who were talking about it, who were involved in that space.
Is there a way to break down what Tantra is, bro, for the people listening?
Tantra is, in essence, it's kind of like, I don't want to, if anyone, if you know what directly it is, then feel free to put it in the comments or wherever. But in my understanding, Tantra embraces everything that is dark and everything that is light. So all things that are profane, and also all things that are love, and they embrace them under the same umbrella. They realize that without all the negative things that are happening in the world, then the positive things can't exist. Yeah. So they embrace that. They embrace it. They create safe spaces for ceremony with those things, and that's kind of what Tantra is.
Cool. So that's where the journey led you, eh? After doing the yoga with this wahine Mauri Kai.
Yeah.
Seeing all the tohu, feeling into the practice of yoga, and then all of a sudden the Tantra tohu started popping up.
Yeah. And then a scholarship was going for this Tantra massage journey. And Tantra massage is a beautiful, powerful practice. Such a healing practice for wahine. If you do it and you're coming from a po space, such a powerful, life-changing healing experience for women.
Does it help them sort of be more safe and secure within themselves or into their body? Or like, is it more around safety? Is it the power?
It's more around rewriting their relationship with the masculine.
Right.
Yeah. Because it's such an intimate space. There's no penetration, like there's no actual sexual intimacy. but there is genital caress and touch and the whole body, not just the genitals, but it's like a recipe. And Kashmiri actually, like, they come from like tau. Where's the tau?
Oh, yes.
Yeah. So
is there like in China?
Asian, Chinese sort of,
in that sort of realm.
They're masters, and so they've constructed a recipe of like this beautiful massage method that at the end of it, the recipient or the receiver has two options. They're either there for healing their masculine wounds or any negative experiences that have happened to them in intimacy with tāne, or they're there for the pure ecstasy and bliss of pleasure. And it depends on where the person is who's receiving it. Yeah. So it's just a beautiful practice, and I feel grateful to be able to offer that to wahine as well. Such a responsibility.
Yeah.
Anyway, and so we had this Tantra massage training, and then that's where I met this beautiful woman Simone, and at that time there, I was just following the tohu, and when I was there, I was like, this is exactly where I'm meant to be, to restructure and reshape my sexual wounds, my shame, my insecurities and stuff. And what ended up happening is like, is it okay if I keep following? Okay.
Yeah.
What ended up happening is like, before you even step into that close, intimate space with the wahine, you have to be clean. So they've got like two workshops a day where you're just releasing or you're just tapping into your trauma.
Yeah.
And held by the group of, they do men work and then they do mixed work. I just feel it flowing out at the moment.
Yeah.
Right?
No, hard, bro.
So one of the beautiful experiences to connect in with your mother wounds is that one of the wahine sits in front of you. You sit down, you got a pillow in the middle, and she looks at you dead in the eye. She's the space holder, and she says something like, "You're safe here, and I will hold space for you." And then your journey is to change her face into your mother's, and to actually, and then it's a safe space. They encourage you that you have to say everything that you ever wanted to say to this wahine who's holding space, and that the pillow's there because there's lots of hara and mamai, and then you just they say like there's no words that are off bounds. You have to just release everything. And so you go through all of these powerful practices to clean yourself first, and then you step into those places.
Then you step into survey.
To serve.
That's so powerful to, I guess, have that sequence of, being in your own journey, but also being in a space where you can purge and, clean yourself before you step into service, which should be the way to actually do things in life, is that if you're in that space of service, there should be something within you to do what is required to release so that you can be more present within those things. So for that to be practiced in this kind of context is mean, bro. And so did you go through that process yourself, and are you open to going into that experience more around your own mother wounds, or, what came up for you, bro, or the findings?
Yeah, well, one practice there was where I had more ferocious energy come up from me around my mama. Was this one where men stand in a circle, you're all holding each other, and then the bro puts on some heavy metal.
Yeah.
Like just to sort of like encourage that kind of energy.
Yeah.
And then he's like, right, I want you, each one of you men are going to stand inside the circle, and you're going to lose control in full totality. They call it full totality, brother, is when you just like absolutely lose your mind.
Yeah.
And you speak whatever the mama is that comes up. And so, when we got into the circle, I was like, oh, could feel the itty coming up in my puki, bro. And I was going, you know,
I'm ready.
Yeah, well, I thought I was like, I do still have some anger and some frustration and some hatred towards my mother. And so, yeah, I just was like, I'm first, bro. And I just jumped in there, brother. You know, said all the
allowing
things.
it to be expressed, bro.
Yeah, to be expressed. And they encourage you to actually look around the circle too and gaze into your brother's eyes as they hold you in your looseness. But you know, all of that it's all stored emotion. Hey, it's unseen stored emotion, brother. Trapped away somewhere in our tinana. So
that was it, eh? One of the practices.
That was one of the practices for me.
And you met your beloved in that same space, say, bro, within Tantra.
Yeah.
In that ceremony. And
Tantra space.
You know, before that, you were also open to polyamory, eh? He done a status around, I remember seeing it, I was like, oh, the bro's like stepping into growth. And yeah, so, you know, there was that before meeting Simone as well. Were you on that journey before, or was it at the same kind of time? Oh, yeah.
Same time. As soon as I started exploring into Te Ao Tantra. Well, no, sorry. Yeah, no, you're right. Like before, I was curious.
Yeah.
There was curiosity inside of me that wanted to explore that because I knew I needed to break down my conditioning around relationships.
Yeah.
And then when I was there, weaving in with beautiful people who are already sort of practicing in those spaces, that helped a lot. And so, yeah, just connected in with Simone, and then we got into a multiple partner relationship. And then I was also engaging with other wahine as well at the same time. And I learned a lot about consent.
Right.
I learned a lot about communication. And I learned that it's not bad to communicate your desires.
Sure.
It's not bad to communicate your desires. And when we do communicate that little feeling, because it's inevitable that we're going to have attraction to certain people throughout our life, my brother.
Yeah.
It's natural.
So is that your desires for other women or desires for certain experiences within intimacy, or is it just all of the above?
All of the above. Yeah, whatever comes up for you. Whatever flavors your flavor.
Yeah.
And it was just about communicate.
Was it uncomfortable at the start, brother? Or was it? Yeah. Because what were some of the main findings within that? Because, you know, obviously from my perspective, this is really interesting, you know, very interesting, because it's not something that, you know, I practice or is even near the scope of where things are at within my marriage and with me and Hinipani. And so for me, this is like far out. This is, you know, and I've got friends who have practiced it, and I'm sure there are many other people who have curiosities.
Yeah.
But I could just imagine, you know, like I just think about me and Hinipani and our marriage, and just the thought of opening that is like really scary, like, and there's no desire for that whatsoever. You know, and so, you know, for you to have being in these spaces and just the openness. But the one thing that I really respect about that particular way of loving and being open is just how vast the love must be, because you're going through, like, there's no limitation on where that love can expand, you know. And so I understand that, and I see that, and I've heard kōrero, and so that's something that I realize within that particular pathway, because jealousy is going to come up, like all of those kinds of things that will just be there. And you got to work through that for the sense of love, you know. And so, like, can you talk more about that? Because I don't know anything, but like, what's your experience more within that?
Well, like, I had some rough patches, brother, around jealousy and you know, insecurities and stuff like that. But like I said, like when we're having a kōrero, you know, when you're on the journey of self-discovery, you're committed to going into those dark. You have to, my brother. You have to. That's where
that's the requirement, brother?
My bro.
Yeah.
And you know, I realized, you know, that was a place that I had to visit and I had to experience that. So this beautiful relationship with my darling was the perfect container for me to experience those things. And she was such a safe, loving person to be able to communicate these things with. I can't quite remember where we were going with that one.
That's all right, brother. It was more so just around, you know, just some of the findings for you within that, you know, because there was the whole things that would come up within being in the polyamory or the open relationships. But was there an expansion of love, bro? And did you feel just any kind of shift within that space around, you know, having connections with multiple different people and other people having connection with the people that you're in connection with? Like, what's that whole dynamic like, bro?
It felt real natural, my bro. It felt supernatural. It felt supernatural. I felt obligated to maintain integrity. And I feel like if you are going to explore those spaces, that's an absolutely necessary kind of value or something to have.
And that's being honest in your intention, communicating.
Yeah, my bro. Honest with your desires.
Yeah. Was there ever any kind of pushback in some of those desires or in some of those kinds of expressions, whether it was from you or from them? It's like, oh, actually, I don't feel okay with that. Or
like I remember I spoke my desire with my darling and another woman, and I said, you know, I'd like to experience a connection with both of you, one of these, one night or something, whenever it was, and but Simone at the time was sort of engaging with her partner at that time as well, so there was a little, it wasn't the right kind of like energy to be moving into that. So she just said, you know, I don't feel open for that at the moment. But there's no like
rejection.
Yeah, there's no rejection, brother. Yeah, it's just clean communication. And when you communicate cleanly and transparently with people for a certain amount of time, you go past that feeling of rejection.
Wow.
Yeah, my brother. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Man, that's interesting. And then you and Simone developed stronger and stronger and stronger. Yeah. So can you talk about that pivot, you know?
Oh, I just felt my heart cracking open. And then we just began to continue to connect. The universe, brother. I was looking for a place, okay? I ended up having to move out of wherever I was. And this place popped up. It was like within my budget, and I was going to go check it out and see if I was going to stay there or not. And on my way there, I'm coming down on the scooters, you know, little scooters, cruising down the road in Bali and Ubud. And then I get to an intersection, and across the street walks Sadhguru.
What?
Bro.
No way.
In front of me, brother.
What?
Sadhguru. Yeah. With his little entourage. Straight up, brother. I was like, I'm in alignment right now, my bro. How many times? I just turned up to this and he walked straight past. And I was like, whoa, Sadhguru, as I drove around the corner.
Should you give him a me, bro?
Yeah, I gave him, whoa. Yeah. And I was on my way to this accommodation. I got there and I was like, this place looks familiar. And then I went inside and I was looking around and I was like, no way, this is Simone's complex.
Fuck.
Yeah, brother. She was living, because I had visited her before.
Yeah.
She was living at that place. And so when I went there, and my room was in a different sort of area.
Yeah.
But I was like, this is the perfect place. Yeah, and then as I was there, naturally, like we spent more and more time together. And then it just evolved from there.
That's so cool, bro.
Stars aligning, my brother.
It looked
magic.
Like,
magic is real.
I reckon that is there too, especially in the form of like love and romance. You know, that is magic, bro.
Yeah,
you
sure.
find a spark and a connection, and even just when you're not even when you least expect it, things happen. You know, when you surrender to that strong desire of needing or wanting, the perfect person ends up flowing into your space, you know, and that's the whole thing that I can resonate with, because that's what happened with me and Hinepanya. It just came out of nowhere, bro. And then you find that connection, you find that aroha. And so, you know, from what you guys were showing and sharing, just felt very intoxicating in terms of how potent that container was for the two of you. And so much so that she moved here to Aotearoa with you, you know, to look at creating a life together. And, you know, like what was that transition like going from the holiday mode? Well, not that it was a holiday because it was still life, but the shift from, you know, being away from home and being in that whole flow of on holiday to then just coming back home and just, like, as you said, moved into mahi mode, you know, like that. Talk about that shift of what that was like in Bali, but then coming home into the reality of everyday life together. What were some of the things that occurred within that, bro? And yeah.
Challenges.
Nothing
deep about mum. Straight to the point, Kels. Challenges, Kels.
Just challenges, eh?
Challenges, Kels.
It's almost like it's almost, what would it say? Because, you know, when me and Hine Pānia went on holiday and then we came back into life, we were reflecting so much on how good the trip was. It didn't take anything away from life, but, you know, just sort of like, oh man, that was so cool when we were doing that and doing this. Did you guys have that kind of experience in your guys' relationship and being like, five in Bali, everything was so nice, and then now here, there's
like a bit of
changes?
Comparison?
Yeah.
Yeah. I was disciplined to not let myself go into that space because my energy, I need my energy to be here, like pushing forward to get us a whare, to get, you know, I couldn't even spend any time going back in there.
Yeah.
But it was difficult for her because she was totally weaved in that beautiful space. That was her tribe was there. She's all weaved in with the dance community and stuff. So she sort of like let a lot of her whānau go, and then landed in Gisborne in the middle of winter.
in the Tairāwhiti, right, and bang smack in the middle of winter. That's just like a complete paradigm shift to her normality or flow in life.
It really was.
What a mean sort of, like, for her to do that for love and for you. That's so beautiful, bro, you know, courageous in terms woman. Of just, dang.
Courageous, incredible, beautiful woman.
Yeah. And you fellas done some mahi together here, and you mentioned it's happening with the admin, and then now there's the journey of, you know, her going back to Bali and you being here, and we've talked about the influence of shared online, just how it was done in a way that was amicable, and the aroha is still there, and you fellas are still very, very close. And so was that an awesome experience in itself too? Not in terms of being separated, because you aren't, but like just how that, what I'm getting to is really the gracefulness in what that was for you.
Yeah, it was an evolution, brother, an evolution for myself. And you know, like that whole process, you know, when we first connected with each other, and this is the beauty of stepping into relating with multiple people, is that you kind of move away from this fixated idea that I'm with you forever. And it just keeps a bit more softness in the potential for something to change.
Yeah.
Because when you get with someone, it automatically, you know, it can feel like, okay, we're in it now. Yeah. And then that's a lot of expectation to fulfill and live up to. So when we first sort of started really thinking about dropping in, I remember there was a kōrero around checking in with each other after a year. Like, are we still serving each other? You know, is this still healthy for us? Do we feel like we need to go our own ways? So that was always there as like a, you know, this is an experience for us. It's not really a forever thing. And then as we were just continuing on this journey of mahi mode, things just got tougher. It just got forced, you know, like survival mode, like what we've been talking about. And then she felt the calling to go overseas. And our intimacy started to fall through as well, brother. That attraction, that natural attraction and desire for each other started to fade away too, for myself personally. So I was going through that phase too. And then she just felt the call to be back with her whānau. Yeah, to be back with her beautiful, loving Zouk family over in Bali, and then probably go back to Holland. But when she said that she wanted to go back for a special event that was happening, I felt sad and as extremely happy at the same time. Because I knew that when she was there with her people, she'd just be back in her bubbly self.
Yeah. And that's so cool, man. There's so much aroha in letting go, eh, brother?
Yeah, my bro.
Hey. Yeah. That's mean. Yeah. Inspiring to see that love story, or the chapters of this love story anyway, you know?
Yeah.
And one thing that I want to, digress to is to the tour diving, bro. Because that looked pretty cool, like what I was seeing. And, just because it wasn't just diving, bro. It looked like you were doing wānanga, creating space. But then then it became about, going out and connecting with the moana and, sharing your practices of like having an amazing skill within traversing within the realm of tangaroa. Yeah. And so, like, can you talk more about, like, your way of going about creating spaces, but then delivering a skill and building capacity and confidence within people around, gathering kai and interacting with tangaroa, bro? So, like, what's the philosophy around it? Or, like, what are some of the things that you, I guess, share within those spaces, bro?
It's a pretty big question.
You're a big man, brother. Was that a victim?
Tweety. Oh, no. That was an observation. Voluntary, my bro. Yeah. Voluntary. Yeah. Oh, yeah. So, it's, I've been on a huge hikoia in the moana, obviously, or ruku, we should say, really. And when you dive into a practice long enough, I think it's natural that you begin to
teach.
Yeah. I think it's natural because it's the value that it's brought for you. The growth and expansion that it's brought for you, and you wish others to experience that as well. Because the moana for me was that trigger for me in my self-discovery. And like that was a lot of the reasons why I did a lot of documenting all of my stuff, sharing it on there to inspire others to get out there. Because I knew that once they got in there, then the moana would do the rest.
Yeah, right, right.
And then they'd be able to have their own personal wānanga with the moana.
Yeah.
So yeah, the spaces.
So is it like a lot of what you do is in relation to that journey of self-discovery?
Yeah.
So you go into spaces to be able to learn more about self, or to be able to express that more. Is that like the theme of how you've been walking these recent years, bro?
Yep.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And the moana, just it's you and you. It fully embraces you. We can go as deep as you want to it, like to the perception of the earth's skin, Papatuanuku's skin, is not the crust of the earth, but also the surface of the water. And when you descend into the moana, you are fully embraced in her liquid, in her body. You're returning back into the essence of the earth. And you can take those into however deep layers that you want to go to. But they're beautiful thoughts and feelings that you can have when you're out there, and to really bridge that gap and reconnect that natural umbilical cord, the umbilical cord that we have to Papatuanuku. Hey, my brother. Because, we all know what's going on. Well, we all know what's going on in the system and all that sort of stuff. And it's such an important quality, and it's such an important investment to have, is to reconnect our umbilical cord back into the natural world.
And I just see, the content that I do see where you're just out there on your boat and you got your foot hanging over and you're just like cruising and just sort of smiling away in your own little world, and can just see that as a big part of the practice though too, is enjoying it, it's having fun, it's like, what does that all feel like to you, bro? Is it exactly how I described it, or is it more heightened?
It's gone through chapters. Like at this stage now, if I want to go and get kai, it's almost like there's no excitement around it. It's just I know I'm going to go out there and I'm going to get the kai that I need. You know, like my skill has gotten to a point where I was like, I know exactly where to go. I know exactly what I need to do. And when I'm out there, my journey at the moment is to slow down and just be present with all of the beautiful creatures under the water. Because when you are a kai gatherer, it is very easy to step into your predator mode and just one track mind. You got a goal that you want to achieve.
Get as much as you can.
Yeah, or get what you can, get what you need, and then bring it back and feed the whānau. So as kai gatherers out there speaking to all you fellas and whalesas, just be aware of that. It's so easy to get into that, you know, just going out there to take and gather. Yeah. That's where all of our, you know, that's where our karakia and stuff come into play a lot of the time.
Tāne,
slows us down. Yep.
Yeah, that's so neat, brother.
But you've been diving into some taiao mahi, eh?
Yeah,
some kai gathering
and I
mahi.
love it, bro. It's actually quite mean, and I haven't done like too much of it, but I do have a very big interest in doing it. But just feeling green and not really knowing too much is probably why I haven't gone out more, done more. And I think even for me, like there's this nice collaborative space about going out into the taiao with others is like a nice thing that I enjoy as well. And just because learning, being more on hands and just asking certain questions and then just enjoying the experience. And those few times that I have gone in like the last few months, and that it's been like awesome. But Pānia bought me a wetsuit at Christmas, bro, and I haven't even got it wet.
Come on,
but it's there, my brother.
It's there.
There.
We'll have to tap into it.
It's going to happen, bro. It's going to happen because we're going to do some content in that space around, you know, brother to brother. And, you know, because we have been talking about that and you've been asking questions around what is this kaupapa? And part of it is this, bro. Just seeing brothers talk about this kind of stuff is a way of honoring the intention of brother to brother. And that's been a big thing within many conversations that I've had is sometimes people are watching, whether they're tāne or wahine, and they're like, I've seen two tāne talk about sexuality or talking about healing or talking about money. Like that's a huge shift in like far out, just seeing an example of like what that sounds like or what that looks like. And so that in itself, just having more conversations with tāne is brother to brother. But also just wanting to navigate the kōrero that we're about to have into some of the things that could be helpful, valuable for tāne, and using our own lived experiences of trying times, of feeling that weight and feeling. And the last podcast that we did do, you talked about some of your big challenges of mental health and being really in a low point. And it's just bringing those conversations to the table too. So one, they don't feel alone, but also like, they did this to be able to get themselves out of it. And so just want to pose that to you, brother. One, what does brother to brother, like when you just hear that, like what does that mean to you? But also then go into, you know, thinking of brothers watching this, you know, what are some things that could help them?
Well, like our beautiful brother Tururangi said last night, you know, or this today when you were talking to him, surround yourself with conscious brothers who are also practicing self-accountability, self-responsibility, holding each other accountable. You know, is this the time to plug the victim game? Absolutely. Surround yourself with loving, genuine brothers. Hey, you know, we've all got our little toxic traits. You know, don't go looking for the perfect brother.
No.
Just look for a crew who is curious to explore self-discovery, curious to engage in conscious kōrero. What is conscious kōrero? Honest, vulnerable kōrero about how you actually feel. You know, things of that nature. And yeah, I suppose that's a good place to start for any man who's on that journey.
And even if you're watching this is a good place to start too.
Yeah,
you know, because we are your brothers. Hey,
Brother,
we are your
chuck
brothers.
it in the comments, my bro.
It's just the one-way track at the moment of us talking with you, though. Of us talking with you, not to you. Take it with a grain of salt.
Well, these could be live podcasts then, so you might see where the bros floating around the mall too. Put it in your calendar. Go meet the bros. Sit out the front like we did last night.
Yeah, but that's a big part. Find your tribe, and even just on a different, definitely in the same like strand of whakaro, as me and like 4 of my bros, we have like a fitness page, like just a chat, and that's been going for like since 2019, and that's just us sharing workouts and sharing what we're eating, but just having something different that's supporting you and your well-being is a good place to start. So it could be just starting like a messenger chat around health and well-being, around whatever it needs to be. And then it just grows and grows from there. But just plugging into different communities is a really good way to start. And that's what I did when I first started, is I would just go and meet new people or go to different kaupapa instead of getting on the piss on the weekend. I was going and working with rangatahi. And when I was working with rangatahi, I was around other people who were working with rangatahi and practicing being alcohol-free. And so, you find that path when you step out of the discomfort, bro, or out of the comfort.
Yeah.
And for someone who struggles with that, brother, because comfort is quite warm and cozy, even if it's not the best feeling, like even if you're doing wrong things in that comfort, it's still nicer than the feeling of going away from that. And so what are some practices, if you can think back into your earlier stages of doing this mahi, what got you into that, bro? Was the crises or the challenges in life that difficult that you'd rather just take a step into this direction, or what was going on there?
Can I just rewind a little bit?
Of course.
If you can hold on to that question, I'd love to drop into it.
Yeah.
But when you were having a kōrero about brothers going through that initial phase, one thing that was coming up for me was don't be afraid to invest your pūtea into your healing.
True.
Because that was a big limiting factor for me. And on the other side of it now, I realized that, it's a limiting it's a limiting belief and factor. Because there's beautiful wānanga out there.
Yep.
And don't be afraid of those numbers. If it says 200 and something, put money away, you can make it work. You can make it work, brothers. And I'll right here, right now, wholeheartedly say to you fellas, it will be worth it. It'll be worth it. How do you have any, because I suppose at the beginning of their journey, it's like, where are they?
Yeah.
Do you have any suggestions for them, brother? Like where they could find?
Where they could go? Well, the Planting Seeds podcast has one. It's called like Seeds of Self, and it's a either one-off payment or monthly payment, and that's either 99 a month or 1,000 for a year. That gets them weekly access to calls and programs and other like-minded people. There's also even just a free line, bro, that I'll drop in here is, if you DM me on Instagram and just say B2B, that's a 15-minute free kōrero that brothers can sort of like tune into.
Wicked.
So that's what I offer here just within my little spaces. But
what, just before you move on, what in your space there, like what are they kind of likely to expect?
What they're likely to expect is definitely growth, connection, a space where they can explore this new version of self that they're stepping into.
New mindsets.
A new mindset, because what I often share is that when you're learning something new, it's very unfamiliar to practice that new thing.
Yeah.
And what I share is like being this new version, authentic version of yourself. And we all have a conditioned aspect of self, but when you start to go on this journey of self-discovery and you're learning tools around different ways of communicating, new mindsets, you're learning new practice,
vocabulary.
New vocabulary, and it's
bro.
whoa, this is all unfamiliar, but resonating. And so it's like what I provide within my spaces is a whereas we can practice being authentic, we can practice getting stronger and what boundaries, or even knowing what boundaries are. And so it's the main part of it, though, is just knowing that there are other people who are on the same journey. And I also provide a space where I'm not the main person who's all about giving the advice. Everyone has their own experiences, and in sharing theirs, they have an opportunity to use their challenges as a way to support others who are going through something that they've passed through. So it's community, bro.
Sounds like a cool little tribe.
Yeah.
It's like, because that's initially one of the first things that you're looking for, is like, where's my people?
Yeah.
There you go, whānau.
But what about you, bro? There was te whareaio that I heart out endorsed and, a po of, but, that's gone to sleep for the meantime. But, there's your space coming up, the creating space. And so talk about what that is, bro, and if there's other plugs there that you feel people could be open to or explore.
Yeah, creating space is back.
After how long?
2026, baby.
When was the last one?
Oh, it must have been like 4 years ago. 3.5. Yeah. So it's back. And it's in March 6th, 7th and 8th next year.
Here at Te Ao
Marae. This mean place with the awesomeness energy. Hey, my brother.
It's amazing, man.
The sun, the mornings, waking up and the beautiful, awa.
Yeah.
All that.
Just the feeling, though, too. It's magical here.
It's got a good vibe, eh?
Yeah.
So next year, creating space. We're still in the kind of process of organizing stuff like that, but we're on the journey of pūtea as well. And if you're new to creating space, mahi, it's always been about the main core values have been giving without expecting to receive, zero waste, and self-sustainability. So those were our three main core values that we would put into practice at creating space. Now coming back after having been on my hikoi, which was super important as a po for any space that you hold authority for, is to go away and clean yourself, check in with yourself and adjust. Coming back after being on that hikoi, we're evolving. And so the idea is to have 3 days. The first day is going to be a workshop space where people can purchase a ticket. And then they can come and then they can access all the workshops from whatever time that is to whatever time that closes. And then the Saturday is going to be open to all public, just as a normal creating space where we're going to be cooking up all the kaimoana, kaingāhere, kaimara. And then there's also going to be tinana spaces, yoga maybe, and, music, beautiful local artists playing. And then the public can flow into the marae and go and enjoy that space. And we're going to have a ceremony before we have our kai. And then we're just going to let that fade out into the afternoon. And all the all the whānau, all the space creators are going to be having wānanga all through the whole process, obviously. And then the Sunday is for us as kaimahi to chill, to relax, to rest, and to
unpack, feedback,
reflect, fine tune.
Yeah, lovely. So that's happening next year, 2026. You heard the Bro Te Rurangi talk about it, and this is just another way to double down, on the offering, that these beautiful people are looking to create. And I reckon you said it when we were talking about diving, is that when you learn so much, the next step is to be able to share and give that. And then you do that, and then the next step from that is the reciprocation to be able to sustain yourself in your own livelihood. And that's a big step, bro.
My brother.
That's a huge step that is often not taken in the space of service. Because you're so, not worried, but you're so for the kaupapa that, and to do a kaupapa, there's a lot required of you to be able to facilitate it, to do it. And doing it for aroha is huge, but it also still leaves you with problems in your own life to support yourself, financially. And that's the measure of value that is the common ground at the moment. And I feel that's the next step to breakthrough, is like when you do have something of service and you've been doing it off the back of aroha, the next big step is then, okay, how can we sort of monetize it or get compensated appropriately.
Be nourished.
Yeah, re-nourished. Yeah,
because there's that in-between phases between kaupapa.
Yeah.
And what are we supposed to do in those space? That space, we're supposed to struggle and survive to try and earn enough so that we can maintain the next kaupapa.
Yeah.
Nah, we should be. It's that story. We should be overflowing, brother.
Yeah. And
so
these are the breakdowns of like the limitations around money and abundance. Is like it's so transactional as opposed to it sort of having that sort of overflowing, reciprocal nature of what comes with the mahi and the value that's being created.
Yeah, that's right. When we show up to a space overflowing, compared to when we show up to a space struggling, how we the space itself, the foundation, all the po are the foundation of a space. Otherwise, the space is just empty. And so it's important that whoever's holding that space is in a space of overflow, because that's initially the vibration that it's being built on. So that's what we want to achieve.
I think the great thing within that though, brother, is like at the start it was modeled.
Aye.
Like, at the start you've just modeled a way of that just by giving.
Yeah.
There was no expectation on my end, but there was just an awareness from you to be able to be like, man, whatever I'm up to, there's challenges and things going on, and this act here is pretty much what got me here to Wanganui, bro. And so I think you modeling that at the start is just a good way to be able to give more sustenance to this whole kōrero around service, and the reciprocation and a monetary sense is really, really important for many kaupapa that are out there, because there's so many whānau out there who are doing cool kaupapa with little funding or no funding.
Yeah.
And I think for us as Māori, and even broader, just our own limitations around money is what's creating more of a strain as well. Yeah.
Yeah, my brother.
What
like when I was thinking about how am I going to give it to the bro? And then I thought, I'll put it in an envelope and pass it along the table. And I thought, why am I putting it in an envelope? Why are we hiding it?
Yeah.
Hey,
Yeah.
And then that was an introspection for me. Like, I wanna express it. I want to bring it out into public. I want to talk about it. I want to show it. It's not evil.
Yeah.
It's not evil. I want to reprogram that old conditioning, and doing it together. Like, we sound like we're on the same sort of wave at the moment, along with all the rest of our brothers and sisters around here too. So
for me, in the whole money journey, there's been seasons of being incredibly abundant, and then there's been seasons of being in a financial hole, and then it's like a cycle.
Yeah.
And then you can either be aware of what that cycle and the pattern within that, and then if you get enough of those cycles, you get enough data or experience to figure out and pinpoint, like what's recreating that. And if we continue to stay the same within our model of thinking, we're going to always continue to repeat the same cycle. And so if you end up in holes, whether it's finances or relationship struggles or health struggles, there's enough within your lived experience to be able to show you where you can break through. And so for me within Pūtea, it's like, okay, being in this position, very grateful for the support that is coming around to support us during this time. But what it's helped me see is, one, receivership is a big thing in breaking through.
Yeah, my bro.
Rather than having the ego, I'm the provider, I'm the protector.
Yeah.
And it's allowed me to drop more into letting go and surrendering that. And so therefore the consequence of that in a good way is like Pānia's gone out and looked for mahi. And she's been doing really well and enjoying it, rather than, oh no, you just stay home, I'll look after all the mahi, which is creating more stress and more pressure and all of that, so that I can be the man who's providing this for my whānau, and so I've just shifted into being more open to the support that's around me, so that I can continue to feed my purpose and to live out my mission and to express in this way. And then that's helped me sort of move away from doing that with a dollar sign attached to it, brother.
Yeah.
And I was talking with you around, in these recent years, I would go for funding and then do the mahi. And I'd only do it if the money came through, because that then helps me, one, get paid to do the mahi, but then support my whānau.
Yeah.
But then you don't get the contract, you don't get approved, and it's not working out. And then I'm still not doing the mahi. So now there's a double loss, and so that's the lesson for me in this season, is I just have to follow through with the calling and be aligned and not worry, but focus on the intention and the value of service and keep that at the forefront. And in doing so, there hasn't been a direct transaction here, but as I said, there's been koha like this. There's been people who believe. There's been hinepānia. There's been all of these things that's helping us sustain during what would have been otherwise a very trying time. And so, that's been the breakthrough for me in this season, brother, is receivership, but also aligning to value and service over worrying about money first.
The fruit.
Yeah, the fruit, brother.
Could we say that this is you coming back to the rako? And,
bro.
Like,
yes, it
getting
is.
your eye off the edges of the
100%.
Branches, and actually just fertilizing the soil.
Incredibly clear on that now.
Yeah.
It's the, and it feels like you're giving me a podcast, which I'm grateful for, brother. I was giving me space to share this, which is mean. Because when I first started my growth journey, there was so much courage and energy, and I just took risk, and I just started things, and I just went so hard, and I loved it, and I was thriving, and then had children, and then became a family man, and then the fear around money became a lot stronger, and so I took less risk. I had less courage, and I still did things, but it wasn't at the level of courage that was needed to continue to go in that trajectory where I was when I first started. So it feels like I've just done a full circle back to the beginning, and it feels so great, bro. Like that feeling of nurturing and just taking risks and just following through, and that's been like a nice feeling, and even more so just having support from my darling wife as well within that whole sequence.
Beautiful.
Yeah, so we've been going for a little while here, my bro, and it's been a delicious kōrero, my brother, and we are going to do some more in brother to brother. So the other aspect of that is whānau, I'm not only just going to be talking with people, I'm really wanting to get out in the field. And so me and Harmonious Ra, the bro Harlem, he's gonna take me out into his domain. And he's gonna take me out into out into Tangaroa, and we're gonna have a way of sharing the practicality within these everyday practices that can align to oranga and well-being.
Yeah.
So that's in the works. Just got to try and figure out how that's going to look. So that's coming up. But I want to pass it over to you, brother. Like, is there anything else on your heart or on your mind that you want to, koha to our kōrero, brother?
Nah, I feel like we've touched on heaps of awesome little spaces. I really enjoyed the flow of today's kōrero. I enjoyed that we dove into Pūtea. I think that's going to be a cool message for a lot of people. And self-discovery, it's the same old message. It's not changing. whānau, it's not changing. As much as you want to look the other way or something, it's always just about go into yourself, man. And utilize our natural world to do that. Go and spend some time in nature and with your whānau.
Mauri aroha, my brother. Mauri aroha. So, tēnā koe, my bro. I've really enjoyed reconnecting with you after a few moons. But also just our in-between conversations that we've been having. Crack up as laugh last night. Don't wear your head to bed.
Talking about the bold journey.
About
our bolding life.
just catching up, bro, and just picking up where we left off. And that's like a really good tell around, connection and brotherhood, bro. It's almost like no time's lost, but there's a lot of presence and being able to catch up. So just have really enjoyed that, brother. And also just to the whānau, you've been privy to some of those conversations that we've been having offline, because it's been the exact same as what you've been receiving here. So
absolutely,
I hope you feel as full as what I have been around this man. And on that note, Be well. Enjoy. Leave a comment. Subscribe. All of that.
Planting seeds.
And yeah, we'll see you in the next one. My brother. Koha received. Ngā mihi. Yay!